The Geometry Dash community disagrees on many things, ranging from 2.2's release, level ratings, and today's main topic. What is the hardest main demon? Well, more specifically, what are the ROP Top demon rankings from easiest to hardest? Really, there is no real answer, but don't click off this video yet because today I'm going to be using the most effective technique as to find which demon is the hardest. Sounds good? Okay, let's begin. What I'm going to do is really simple. I'm going to compare the different game mode parts to each level, so I'll determine which of the levels have the hardest cube part, spaceship part, ball part, and UFO part. Each of the levels will get points depending on the placing of difficulty I have given them, so if the order of the hardest cube part goes to Club Step, then Theory of Everything 2, then Deadlock. Then Club Step will be awarded 3 points, Theory of Everything 2 will get 2 points, and Deadlock will get 1 point. Whichever level has the most points in the end shall be declared the hardest ROP Top demon. And keep in mind that these rankings are based entirely off of my opinion. I'm not speaking from everyone's perspective. Got that? Good. Starting off, we have the cube game mode. First, we will be looking at Club Step, being infamous for its starting cube section. Already 3% into the level, and the level makes the player face a difficult obstacle. You have to click the mouse fast in order to hit all the white orbs, but then time your click in order to not hit the yellow orb, but instead the pink orb. This type of gameplay continues for most of the cube parts, where you have to spam but also time your clicks to hit the correct orbs. Memorization can be a pain starting out. Luckily, there's an easy part where all you have to do is time your jumps on invisible blocks. Easy in my opinion. After the first ship part, you are once again thrown into a cube section where you have to both spam and time your clicks. In fact, this accounts for all the cube parts in Club Step. Spamming your clicks, timing your clicks, and memorizing your clicks. Not only that, but the same can be said for Deadlocked, but there is much less spam. Well, besides the final cube. I mean seriously, the final of the 3 demons, and this is the last section? Whatever. Onto Toad 2, which once again begins with spam and memorization. But this time, it is nowhere near as hard because of the X's across the orbs you don't need to click on. The next 2 cubes are literally just basically memorizing which blocks are fake and which are real. However, the next one takes place after a really fast section, so the sudden slow speed really makes things more difficult than they should really be. The same thing goes for the next section, but the opposite way. There's a sudden fast pace for the cube, which once again makes things much harder than they really are. The final cube is, once again, extremely anticlimactic. However, I'm still going to give it the top spot for the hardest cube part. In second place is Club Step with its contradicting spamming and timing sections, and in last place is Deadlocked. Now is where things get difficult, the ship section. Let's just get the obvious over with. Toad 2. You all know it, you all hate it, it's just so incredibly tight to fit your ship through the curves, and it's no doubt the most infamous part of Toad 2. But really, that's all there is going for the level. The beginning ship has the spikes pretty far apart, making it easy to maneuver. The second section is a bit harder, but there are many instances where you can just hold down your mouse to pass through. And this saw blade section can be extremely difficult at first, but you can just learn the timings like how you can learn any other section. Moving on to Club Step, and oh my god, have things took a turn. All the levels before Club Step really focuses on the cube more than the ship, so when the player attempts to beat Club Step, they are highly underprepared for the straight flying timings and memorization. The first part has the player memorize all of the times where you need to stay at the top or stay at the bottom, but the part with the invisible spikes makes the players either straight fly or do the same thing, but more harder. The next section has the spikes relatively far out from each other, but the sudden transition from the UFO to the ship really challenges the player. The section afterwards is incredibly similar to the previous one, but the spikes are more close together, and it has the player straight fly before turning into a UFO. But then, the player needs to memorize the fake paths, time when to dip down or up to the next school, and then fly through the school for the next section. But it isn't done there because another similar gravity changing section appears, with the spikes on the bottom making the player straight fly another time. Not to mention how hard the timings are on the gravity switches. One short cube section later, and yet again another straight fly gravity switch section, but this time you start upside down, making the straight fly even more difficult. Another school section falls where you need to straight fly through the schools, though with tighter spikes than before. The level ends off with yet another straight fly through schools section, but tapped off with a false path at the end. My goodness, was that hard to narrate. These sections are the only reason why this level is a demon, and it should come to no surprise that it ranks at the... Oh wait, we still have Deadlocked. The first ship section comes right after the infamous wave section, so right away you need to switch from spamming your mouse clicks to timing your mouse clicks. You also have to memorize where the spike blocks will swing. Literally 50% of the level goes by until the next ship begins, and there is a reason for that. Right away, you have to maneuver your ship to avoid hitting the spikes in about a 1.5 block space. While Clubstep had almost all of its straight flies in the miniature form, this part you are your normal size. You are then launched through a portal where you have to straight fly once again upside down. The straight fly itself is pretty difficult, but the transition from the portal really makes it hard to keep your ship straight. You are then launched into more portals where the gameplay is extremely similar to the one found in Clubstep, and even though you are miniature for one of the portals, it is once again hard to do because of the transition from the portal. The final ship is extremely similar to the previous one, but you literally have to memorize the path you take. The previous ship section at least lets you be able to sight read what will happen, but this part is just pure memory. Add on top of that the hard straight flies in the portal transitions. Despite this, I'm still going to give the #1 spot to Clubstep, as literally more than half of the level is ship, while Deadlocked in second place only has 3 parts. In last place is Toad 2, but don't let this ranking fool you. Every single one of these levels has a really difficult ship part. Taking a break from a game mode as infamous as the ship, we have the ball sections, and this is actually a much easier ranking. Clubstep has only one ball section that lasts 8% of the level. This ball is actually really easy. You can learn the entire part in less than 3 deaths on it, but I can appreciate the fact that you can use the eyes as part of the gameplay. Already onto Toad 2, and the first section is only 4% long, yet it is much harder than the Clubstep ball as it has much more fake orbs and paths which require the player to memorize the entire section. And on top of that, the 2x speed. The next ball also consists of memory, but it is much harder as you have to only acknowledge the blocks that light up. That's almost impossible because there are blocks covering the entire screen during the 3% of the section. Yeah, that's right. Toad 2 only uses the ball for 7% of the level, less than Clubstep. And Deadlocked isn't even that far ahead with its 12%. The first section is once again simple memory, though the obstacles move into flame, making sight reading much harder. Not to mention the glitch with the green orb that sometimes treats it as a white orb. The next part isn't memory based for once, and actually requires skill. This ball part is actually still not that hard, but once it teleports through the portal, the player has to try as fast as they can to find the ball in order not to die. The final part is basically the same thing, but with a moving platform, normal sized ball, and slower. Obviously, I'm putting Clubstep last, but I'm actually going to give the first place to Toad 2, because it is incredibly easy to mistake when and when not to click, which means Deadlocked comes in second place. Finally, we have the UFO. Deadlocked's first UFO consists of moving pillars, making it impossible to sight read, but since it's only 3% long, it's actually pretty easy to memorize. The next UFO section is of course the boss fight. Once again, mostly memory based, however, it is really easy to learn as it only has 3 attacks, though the small bit after the boss fight can be confusing to know when to tap. The last UFO is exactly like the first one, but incredibly more difficult. To this day, I still never know when to go to the bottom and when to go to the top. Add on top of that, the fact that this is literally the last bit of the level gives the player so much anxiety, and with it being the UFO mode, it is easy to mess up with just one click. Clubstep also follows this rule with its first UFO section. The player needs to tightly jump through the schools, and with how tight the space is, one click can ruin everything. The next UFO section, however, is much more easy. Very similar to the first ship section in Clubstep, the player must know when to stay on the top of the school and when to stay on the bottom of the school. But Toad 2 has very different UFO sections. The first and second parts both have the player switch between gravity portals in a tight space with the slowest speed. Though being fairly easy to learn, the next section takes a turn. It has the miniature player going really fast through normal sized spikes. Unlike the previous section, the area is spacious, though the spikes having a 1 block gap between each other. The spacious area can make the player confused as to how many times they should click. And the tight spikes can also make the players dangerously spam, which is why Toad 2 is taking the #1 spot for the hardest UFO, with Deadlocked once again being to second place and in last place Clubstep. So if we tally up all of the points for all of the levels, we will see that the hardest main demon is Toad 2 with a total of 10 points. And believe it or not, this is accurate towards me because I have more attempts on Toad 2 than I do on Clubstep and Deadlocked. The second and third hardest are actually undetermined because both Clubstep and Deadlocked have a total of 7 stars. So if you would like me to do another video similar to this but with just Clubstep and Deadlocked, I will if this video gets 25 likes. So unless this video blows up, I most likely won't. This video was so hard for me to make as it is my first video I've made with an actual script, so I apologize if this video seems very unprofessional compared to other videos. I have made a poll that you could vote on in the top right hand corner of the screen. You could vote if you like these scripted videos or not. Really, I don't care, it's just an experiment. You're helping me by giving me your opinion. If you don't like them, please honestly vote. I don't care if you don't like them or not. It's an experiment. I just really need your opinion to see if I should do these videos or not. And if you want to rearrange my list, go ahead. This list has many flaws, like not considering the waving robot game mode, the different monitors people use, and much more. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. Please do leave a fat thumbs up because that is what everybody says. Subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.